Welcome back to the warm-up. Ben Simmons on the court this time. We showed him arriving earlier. He's getting ready. Philadelphia trying to make this thing happen. They've won 2 in a row, 24-2 at home, taking on the Clippers. Ben Simmons looking for perhaps his 6th triple-double of the season tonight. Just to review, here's the back page of the Daily News in Philadelphia. Shush, sheesh. I don't think the fans were thrilled with the motion that Joel Embiid shared with them on the court, especially the words he said afterward. And I'm glad to tell you guys at home that we've got a treat for you as it relates to this Philadelphia story. You can see behind me, my friend Jared Greenberg is in the building at the Wells Fargo Center.
What's up, Stephanie?
Jared, I'm so glad you're there because this is all we're talking about right now. So I know that you're in the thick of things. You're right there in Philly. Help us break this down a little bit further with the Joel Embiid situation.
Well, I'm just excited to be in this building tonight because this is not a negative, this is not a positive, but I am quite sure that tonight Philly will be at its best Philly tonight. And we may see this face of the franchise get heavily booed when he gets announced in just about an hour from now here. In fact, that's the anticipation by most people in and around the organization, that the antics of Embiid, who has been, for all intents and purposes, the favorite son of Philly over the last several years during the quote-unquote process, has now gotten himself into territory where he is barking back at fans who are unhappy with his inconsistent play. And that shush that happened the other night, which was actually ironic because it was the second guy to shush. Nobody really said much about Al Horford doing the same thing on Friday night. But then taking to social media and having the back and forth with Jimmy Butler, who left on not so great terms here in Philadelphia. And it's really unclear at this point, was it that Butler didn't want to be here or that the organization didn't want Butler? And now the thought process is, well, is the clock ticking on the whole experiment with Embiid and with Simmons? And what happens with Brett Brown in all of this?
I'm so glad you brought up Al Horford because I did not forget about that shushing. In fact, I was going to ask you about it, Jared, because not only the shushing, but then the 0-point performance. Yeah. What is going on with Al Horford?
Well, there's big news here. First of all, it was the first time in Al Horford's NBA career, which has included several trips to the All-Star game, that he has not scored in an NBA game. And it has finally gotten to the breaking point where Brett Brown has recognized that there has to be a change, and we'll see that for the first time tonight. Al Horford will go to the bench and come off the bench, and that is our breaking news tonight. Furkan Korkmaz, who has scored 65 points over his last 2 games, will get the start for Al Horford tonight in what it was going to be a bit of an experiment. Brett Brown telling us that he's not sure if this is the lineup of the future for the remainder of the season, but ultimately this is something that he feels is necessary because there has to be something that gives here offensively with this team, which has so much firepower, yet has struggled and has been so up and down throughout the course of the season. So again, Horford comes off the bench for the first time this season, and Furkan Korkmaz comes on. It goes into the starting lineup.
Wow, that is breaking news and certainly something to watch, especially you mentioned Korkmaz scoring lately, coming off of a career-high 34-point performance. So I'm excited to see what he does in the starting lineup. Now, on the other side of this game, you've got the LA Clippers, Jared. They added a new piece to their already deep puzzle in Marcus Morris. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a great Doc Rivers type of basketball player. He loves two-way guys that can guard multiple positions, that can do a lot of different things offensively, is not shy when it comes to big moments, has played in big series during his time with the Boston Celtics the last couple of years, was putting up career-high numbers in his time with New York. But in speaking with Marcus Morris, I don't know how the guy is standing these days. He's got to be physically and mentally exhausted. The Knicks played a back-to-back on the road last week prior to the trade deadline, comes back to New York on Thursday, finds out he gets traded, and then Friday morning goes cross-country from New York to L.A. And if anybody has taken a flight from New York to L.A., as I'm sure many of you in the studio have, you're going to get delayed because that's the rule. Got delayed going to L.A., went through all the physical exam with the Clippers to get cleared to be a member of the team, then hops a flight with the team to Minnesota, sits and watches the team there. Then the next day they fly to Cleveland, and then after they beat up on Cleveland, he flies here to Philly. So that's 4 flights in 4 days for Marcus Smart, who came in and made a nice impact on Sunday in his debut, and he'll again be in the starting lineup for LA tonight.
My goodness. This is when they kind of wish they weren't on charter flights so they could get the frequent flyer miles when they accumulate 4 in such a short span. Jared, we appreciate you joining us. I know it's busy for you. Have a great call tonight on TNT. We'll see you later on.
All right. Thanks, Stephanie.